And then
Lobby's up when you're ready.
cool.
It's funny, I actually did high elf practice on Monday. Yeah, I did high practice on Monday against Zinch.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, tough matchup for Zinch now. So obviously you saw with high elves there's been lots and lots of changes, lots of buffs, even more so now with the faction. So I think it's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
So you've obviously been doing some unit testing. What have you found out so far?
Yeah, on paper it looks like a very rough matchup because pretty much everything from the high elves beats Beastmen stuff, but Beastmen stuff is usually cheaper. So that for sure means going wide. Because I'll need a couple of units for every one of theirs, ideally.
The biggest problem you have in this dynamic matchup is that, and actually the main thing is martial prowess. So martial prowess gives me 12 melee defense, so like 50 melee defense for a 500 gold unit of spearmen, and it goes down to 25% health now. So that's a huge problem in the fact that melee defense and melee attack, obviously melee defense trades better overall. As you get higher and higher and higher, melee attack trades off, whereas melee defense always goes up.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then you've got other units such as Silver and Guard that come with spell resistance, so you can't just use spells to get rid of them. You know, they're going to have anti-large if you're in cavalry. Decent AP, good armor, silver shields. You know, they're just a bit of a nightmare. High melee defense at 54 with that martial prowess. So they've just got really, really high melee defense. Really good overall unit.
Yeah.
Other things like Illyrian Reaver archers are cheaper. So they're a bit of a nuisance. Yeah, good cheap mages and lots of winds of magic that I can pick from. So what's roughly your overall approach here? I'm probably not going to change this army. This is just a static army that's pretty strong right now. What's your overall approach?
Yeah, a mix of Ungors and Goreherds as an infantry line. A mix of Centaurs and Centaur great weapons to deal with any cavalry.
Yeah.
Some throwing axes just to be mobile in case there's dragons or phoenixes and other armored stuff. I'm going with a shaman with Lore of the Wild for Trader King and Brace King.
I can't help. Yeah, it's tough actually because I was thinking maybe Pit of Shades might be better, but obviously high elves can go a lot wider now. Which can be a problem.
Yeah, I found that multiple brace screams on those tough infantry with a lot of melee defense really helps out a lot. It's a cheap spell, so.
Yeah, and that cheap spell, and I assume you take the lore passive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like seems pretty good to me. Yeah, this will be an interesting one.
Yep.
This is just a generic army, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's really nice about since doing the coaching, I feel like you are so much more comfortable with Beastmen now. Like when it comes to a certain matchup, you kind of roughly know what mix and match you need of infantry, that kind of thing. Like when we first started, you were like, "Oh, why would I use Ungors? Well, I don't use Ungors. I don't understand Ungors." But obviously, Ungors, they're just, they are very useful in mixed match with Goreherds, and I like also your cavalry's not all throwing axes now. Some Minotaurs here and there if you need to bully through the pocket. Really like that. And then also your winds of magic usage, understanding has really stepped up quite far. Yeah, and you really seem to understand the faction to a good standard, which is good.
Yeah. And also not taking Torux because of his flaming attacks.
Yeah, so that's a really good. Obviously, I think we talked about tiering and stuff, right? Where that can be difficult, but also the most fire resistance comes from the high elves in the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
So having fire attacks is. I actually think a Doom Ball does quite well here. Surprisingly. Otherwise, there are other ways you can take this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I think the traditional way is to go summon boy. What's his name?
Mogger.
Yeah, Morgan Shadowgave can do actually quite well here.
Yeah, but he's not a Minotaur.
You know what? You're damn right. You're damn right. You know what? I've got to respect that.
I'm always gonna try and pull at least one Minotaur in my army if I can.
I mean, listen, it would have been the Beastmen if you didn't, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're wider than me.
Right. Yes, and welcome to the brand new High Elves.
Oh, goddamn. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
so
ready.
I think we worked out this army compared to what would have been pre-patch is 850 gold cheaper.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like 8% cheaper. It's absurd. Oh, I forgot you can do this. God damn it. Ah, that's a very interesting approach. Don't quite know how I feel about that. Who's this? Ah, Doomball. Hello. Hello, Mr. Doomball.
Oh, crap. Wait, where did the Lord go? Attack. Oh.
Ah, Manticore. I like that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, at least I killed your lord.
Yeah.
But that should be army losses any second now, though.
It's a really good game.
Yeah. As expected.
One of the biggest problems with high elves is just how cheap they are. That's absurd.
Yeah, and what I've seen in other matchups, mostly online, there was less wider builds, but more what you call it?
Elite.
Yeah, more cavalry and such.
Let's upload that one.
Yeah, I saved it as well.
Yeah, so let's have a look. Manticore did good value. It did catch my lord. I got most of the value at my lord by then anyway, I think.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I saw, cavalry did well. Throwing axes bring AP is true, but also you bring Centaur great weapons. So I don't know if the throwing axes maybe was that worth it.
Yeah, I think that's maybe for other high health elves builds, but certainly not for this one.
Yeah, I mean, my skirmish did okay, like it did what I wanted it to do. It poked and stroked and was rather annoying. Front line did okay.
Poked and stroked.
My archers also got some pretty decent value.
Yeah.
So what were sort of more the sort of builds that you saw?
Yeah, less infantry, less missile cav, less archers and more full-on archers and sometimes dragons and let me switch to halves for a sec. So yeah, dragon princes I saw a lot. Sometimes even the war lines, but I'm not sure if they were ever picked against Beastmen specifically. Maybe those are more for others.
I can certainly see a Frostheart being a bit of a nightmare here.
For the Phoenixes, right? Yeah.
I don't know if a Lariel dragon builds would be. I don't think they'd be any good here actually, because your cavalry's too good. No, I thought your build was pretty good. I had to fight pretty hard to win that one. Here's my thought process. So let's say I go Silver Helms, probably without shields. They're going to be slower than your cavalry. All of my cavalry is slower than your cavalry, to be fair.
Yeah, but not by a whole lot.
No. So, I could go... The one I'd do is, cheaper Lyrian Rivers. That's probably where I'd end up going. But they're only 50 gold cheaper than the Archer variant. So, for me, there's not really much in it. Like I'm paying 50 gold for like range and ammo, which you are gonna get your value for. Like
Yeah.
yeah. The other way you could do this is like Phoenix Guard builds, because one thing that you struggle with massively as the Beastmen outside of your actual casters is magic damage. So they just pay for good physical resistance, good armor,
Yeah.
and you would struggle to kill things like the Phoenix Guard. You'd
And
also
they,
struggle
yeah.
maybe to kill like the Keepers of the Flame. Like you would really struggle to deal with these units.
And they also have anti-large, which a lot of powerful Beastman units are.
Yes. So like 3 of those would be quite of a nightmare. Silver and Guard. The one reason why I also like I keep telling people I go like super wide with lots of archers. If you put a spell on them, or like let's say a Pit of Shades, like Pit of Shades is going to just delete one unit of my Sisters of Avalon. But if I've got 5 archers,
Yeah.
like what are you going to do there? You know?
Yeah. It's just the wide infantry line compared with a big amount of archers. Just yeah. They're only 25 more expensive than Ingor Raiders. I mean,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And they're 180 range.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a big problem, I think.
Funnily enough, Angor Raiders do beat the archers one-on-one, but it's mostly because they can get in range with stock.
So the other way you can also play this, which I think is actually probably more efficient in this matchup, is I could go Law of High Magic. Law of High Magic, I get Apotheosis and Tempest. So if you decide to fight me in the air, I will have a bit of air superiority, with also Archer Fire. So that can also be a bit of a problem for you. But of course, if you don't take a Skyforce, then you know my air superiority doesn't really count for much.
Yeah.
You know, like, for example, paying for Tempest, so I could drop like Shield of Saffron and take Soul Quench or something, you know, and go down that route. So that is also a possibility that I have, if that's what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
The only downfall there is that I now don't have anything to deal with blobs. Because I have Dweller's Blow on the other side. So I think that's important for you to know there. Shadows could be good. Pit of Shades, Penumbra, Pendulum, always good. Law of Metal, surprisingly, also could be pretty decent against you. Light, Nets, I guess. But I think mostly you'll see Law of Life, High Magic, Shadows. I think that's mostly where people are going to go. For you, on the flip side of things, let's have a look. Let's drop down to your build quickly. Okay. I was also a bit surprised that you didn't punish my box a bit more. You rotated really on a really heavy on my right flank. I thought you were going to try and punch into my build a little bit, but you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't see a lot of box builds, so I'm not entirely sure what to do with them. I was trying.
Well, that's why I think Morgo could have done quite well actually, because Morgan has 75% missile resistance, so you're not going to shoot this guy.
No.
Right? You're not going to shoot him. He also has poison, which is really handy. Good actual melee stats. Not much armor, but he also has good spell resistance. So, you know, spirit and stuff going to be pretty tough to take him down. And he brings 2 summons to the battlefield, which, you know, you can summon him behind, which I think is actually quite useful.
Yeah.
You can use those to compromise archers. You know, be a bit of a nuisance in my back pocket if you wanted to. I would say 9 times out of 10, High Elves are bringing a flying caster. Like, on an eagle, super cheap, really good, mobile. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you... I mean, here, I think actually Chariots do quite well. Obviously, they can't get stuck in combat, otherwise they're going to take quite a bit of damage. Let's have a look, see what you got. Yeah, so you got this sort of build. Okay. Let's have a little think about this. So you've gone Brace Scream. You brought him on a Tuskor, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tuskor. Yes. And you bought Law Passive. Okay. Got Torox. Where is he? Here. Yeah, I wouldn't hate seeing a cheap Morga with Spirit Essence and the Stave of Ruinous Corruption. I really wouldn't hate that. Maybe some Harpies. Maybe a Harpy or two wouldn't be too bad on this matchup. Let's have a think. So your front line, let's see what was your front line mixed in with. So we had I think Centaurs are going to do quite well. I think if you're going to take like something that's quite nice, right? So if I take Dragon Princes, they pay for physical resistance and fire resistance, which means anything that just has magic really circumvents them quite nicely. Okay. The only downtrade from the Sons of Goros is the fact that they pay for Guardian, and obviously you probably won't be using that because you're probably not. I mean, you could roll with your Bray Shaman, but it is one of the few magic options you have to like circumvent the mass physical resistance that you see. So fire and physical resistance is quite abundant in the High Elf roster. So having something like that maybe wouldn't hurt. Just as an idea, I would rather take that than your throwing axe Groku's, I think. So having four lots of cavalry in that way.
Okay.
You might actually, you could actually maybe even just go four units of Centaur Great Weapons. I wouldn't hate that at all. Some shielded Ungors. I'd definitely take the Blackhorn Ravengers and then maybe a couple of Gore herds. And this is where it kind of comes down a little bit to you, how you want to play it. So you could certainly go Harpies and then kind of deal with that box by, flying down some of those archers. You also have summons in there as well. So you can compromise that back line. And then maybe some chariots, if you can fit them in somewhere. Maybe like going double chariots. Maybe you could drop that to this. Drop this to that. And then you've got like, maybe just drop the Lord passive. And you've got a build like this that I don't hate. So here you've got, a decent infantry line, 8 stack. You've got some Harpy to compromise range. Centaurs that, can deal with elite cavalry. That's also going to include... because I think that's what's important, right? You've got to look at the cavalry overall. Here you can deal with Dragon Princes. You can deal with Silver Helms because they're all going to be pretty heavily armoured. Yeah, you generally find quite a lot of armour in the High Elf roster outside of range. So I could see that being quite useful. Also, if you have to fight a dragon, you've got heavy cavalry that can pin in with good armor piercing. So I could see that being quite useful. So
what were you building for Beastmen? Because I was trying to copy it, but I didn't see everything.
That's all right. So something a little bit like this could do fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe save that build and then see what your old build looks like. And we'll compare it to the one that I just made. Yeah, so the problem here with throwing axes, and I get the whole idea of dragon and flying units, but throwing axes are really bad at attacking flying enemies, especially high elves that are notoriously fast. Like Arcane Phoenixes are 120 speed. Throwing axes are pretty slow. They're not like gunfire. Even archer fire is faster than throwing axes.
Right, of course.
So they're not going to do very well against flying units.
Did not know that. Good to know.
So what you're waiting with flying units is you're waiting for them to land, and then you kind of get on top of them.
Yeah.
And dragons are awkward, heavy, and clunky, and they get stuck on everything. So, and centaurs are fast enough; they'll keep up with them. And as long as they keep attacking, the dragons won't fly. So I just actually don't think dragons are good in this matchup. So here, I'm actually thinking a no range build, full rush might be on the cards. And it's kind of prepared for two things. If they go dragons, centaur great weapons, they're the priority. If they go heavy box build, Tuskar's getting in there, so you want to compromise as many of the with the gore herds and ungors as possible. You know, stopping those infantry units in place, cycle charging with the chariots, allowing them to get good damage and get out for free. And then you've got summons and harpies to deal with any range units.
Okay.
It's pretty much I feel like the way to go here. I think the Doomball is good. He's quite a good character sniper. I feel like Morga's just not going to die, and having a leader in this army is going to be way more important.
Yeah, and also, like you said, the High Elf caster will probably be on a flying mount anyway.
Yes. Like, for me, I just ignored your Lord all game. I didn't need to fight him.
Yeah.
I just sent one unit of spearmen, and he was compromised.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I have my Doomball. Doomball. Let's find this Lord, let's click it, and I can't click it.
But yeah, I think Morgan here just offers a little bit more support.
Yeah.
So if you don't know his normal unit, you can summon a unit of Chaos Spawn, which would be great.
Yeah.
And then his other one is any unit, including your own, that drops below 20% health, that is not a Lord or a hero, will turn into a unit of Chaos Spawn for you. Yep. So that could be my unit or your unit. So basically gives you two summons in the pocket to use, and this guy's just not gonna die.
Yeah.
I already know I'm not gonna fight him because there's no point me fighting him. So keep your caster alive. So your main focus is going to be Bray Shaman, 4 Centaurs, double Tuskars. That's what you're going to be looking at. Morka you can forget about. He's not going to die. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Goreherds, Ungors, just to really compromise that front line. Harpies, when they're in on a nice juicy unit of range, go ham, have fun. Yeah.
And just ignore your Lord then.
I would say even if you get harpies around my lords,
you'll just drag them over ranged. So
you could do well, but I've also got healing.
Yeah.
Also, I can just land my lord, which I don't know. You saw I did that in the last one. I landed, and you responded really well. I must say that was really good from you. I landed into a bunch of spearmen. You came after me, and then you carried on putting on the pressure. I thought that would be enough for me to get away, but it's good to see that you're really switched on to that. Yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, sweet stuff. All right, I think that is all good then. Yeah, I think give that a go. We're also getting to the level now where you might like a certain style of play. This might not be your style of play. You might not enjoy this. This 5 build is certainly more towards my style of play. It's cheap. It's efficient. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of the way I like to play. I won't go high magic. I'll go life magic just because that way we keep it the same. So I'll take Dweller's Blow, Earth Blood, and then the Law passive of Life Bloom, which should be quite nice.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about this build is no Minotaurs. But
yeah.
And I'm not that great with Chariot yet, so that's always a bit of a...
Well, here's the thing. Try the Chariots here. If you don't like them, let's put some Minotaurs in for it instead. Literally, we'll take the Butchers of Kalkengard.
Yeah.
For a direct trade. But I'd say try it, see how it goes, and then the next game, if you still don't like it, put in the butchers.
Yeah. Obviously, with this build, there's a lot less going around. I don't have to have my lord on your lord entire time, so that's a little less macro and stuff. So maybe I'll have enough on this build to focus on the chariots.
Yeah, and one thing I saw in that last game was it was sort of do a little bit in the front line, and then your cavalry kind of got left behind, and I was kind of shooting them, and I felt like I got away for free a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the back of your army, but there were spears there as well, so...
Spears everywhere.
Yeah.
That's quite a high elf way to play. The nice thing about the spears is that you've got such high melee defense. You know, charge reflex. They're an effing nuisance, man.
So I noticed that I wasn't adjusting to that fast enough, so that was kind of the downfall of the...
That's good though, right? You know, that's the whole point of this is that you get that experience.
It's better than going in ranked matchmaking and getting a Warbear Rider Patriarch blob.
That's true.
Oh, that was so annoying.
Yeah, Warbear Rider Patriarch blob. You know, it's just a debuff and debuff with healing. Like it's a pretty standard Warhammer. But we can go through Kislev next week if you wanted to. And we can certainly work on how to deal with that kind of build. You know, they're strong as a group, but as some individual, if they're taken down, you know that group can fall apart really quickly.
Yeah, it's just how do you get them apart? Okay, that's maybe for next time. This stuff, everything. Why are you there? This can go here.
But no, I was telling one of my other students, like, it's also good to look at, like, replay length. So, because the way replays work, I don't know if you know this, but when you watch a replay, you're actually re-watching the match, and the game is inputting the same functions as you did, right? So, the bigger the file means the longer the game. And I would say anything that, an okay game will be 150 KB, like, it was okay. A good game will be 175 KB and above, and a great game will be like 200. A great game would be like, it was really close, although right down to the very end. And you can see that was a good game we had there for our first game. So, and you've had no practice on it, so it's good work.
Thanks. Right.
Give it 2 seconds.
Sure.
And then we'll be ready to go.
Oh, we have Cypher watching.
Big old Zypher. How you doing, baby? Big boy Zypherunio. I think this time, you're also a little bit higher on the number count. Good stuff in the middle. So now you can see how that's compromising my pocket. So I'm now going to have to start moving in with some of my units. And that's going to open up the backside of my build.
Oh crap. Did my mouse die? Fuck. Okay.
You try and where you can.
Yes.
Oh God! All stacked on each other. Lovely. Thank you, game.
Nope. Oh, Mogul is still very healthy. Now I had my mouse also had a bit of a meltdown there.
That's right.
Bit of a shame.
I'll throw it up anyway.
Yeah.
I'll just put mouse died in it. It was still the same length. Mouse died. Yeah. Do you think it would have gone a little bit different if it didn't die?
Well, maybe could have used my chariots.
Ah, right, okay. Did they just get stuck, did they?
Yeah, the mouse was just not clicking or something. It was really weird.
Oh, okay. It is a bit weird, yeah. I guess that's a bit hard to say if you like the build or not, then.
Yeah.
Okay. We can just run it back if you'd like.
Yeah, let's try it again.
Yeah, it was good though. You compromised a lot of my archers. You got in there. It was a bit of a nightmare in that pocket. And I don't know if you saw that when you were attacking my archers, I had to move that back line of spearmen in to cover them and then kind of pull the archers out.
Yeah.
Which just makes them really available in that back pocket. So unless I engage my cavalry in melee with your cavalry around the back is just going to sort that range out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good stuff.
Right. So... Right.
Beastmen! Fast! Ghouls! Dark beasts! Dweller! Dark house! Gaza! Pass! Grow! Bar! Zuas! Bar! Kashayish! Sweetler Chaos! Quipsec! Sword! Varuda! Dark Woman!
And there's army losses again. Whew. Right, felt a little bit better, but yeah.
It's certainly tough. I think there was a couple of things in there where it could have gone slightly better. For example, I think your Centaurs did really, really well in what you tried to do with them, but I had some countermeasures in place where, for example,
Yeah.
the first bit, you click for them to do something. I saw you attack them, so I pulled them through my spears. You then charged onto my spears. And then what I did with the cavalry is I used my archers and everything just to take down that mobility. Because then once I had the mobility advantage, I don't think there's much this build can do when that mobility's gone. How do you feel about the Tuskors?
Yeah,
Change them out. If you don't like it,
Yeah.
change them out. If it's too much, and also you'll know that as well, right? If it's too much for you, then it's too much. I mean, the harpies are annoying every time. There is the harpies are annoying. How do you feel about Morga? Like, obviously, Morga Shadowgate just doesn't die. So are you happy with him there on the field, or do you not like him there? Would you have somebody else?
No, he's alright, I think. It's just obviously he's not as flashy as other lords or something, but I think he does his job and does it well. It's just that I'm not sure about those great weapon centaurs actually.
Okay. What would you put in their place?
Yeah, not that far ahead yet, but
Well, you could just go regular tentacles if you wanted to.
no.
So let's drop those. Let's wallop in some. Where's the big boys? There we go. Butcher's and Cowcan Guard. So they've got the AP. So they've got the big burly damage. Let's say we drop them down to regular centaurs. You get an extra 800 gold to work with.
Yeah.
So you could bring a unit of the Blackhorn Ravagers if you wanted to. You could bring 2 more units of Ungors. You could bring in some Warhounds if you wanted to. You could actually bring a Ferromanticore if that's what you liked. There's quite a few options there. You actually have Terror with the Butchers, which I think is quite good. I think that is also something your build was missing maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but overall, I think high elf leadership is quite high, so there's not much chances to get terror in.
So what's your thought? Would you want to be a little bit wider on infantry? Would you just want more cavalry? What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, the main problem is I want to get on those archers, but I also need to not get stuck on the spears.
Yes. So to not get stuck on the spears, you have to compromise the spears. I'll tell you what. How about this? Why don't you play the high elf side and you take my build, and I'll play against you.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I think that could be quite interesting. Alrighty, I'm ready when you are. I'll tell you what, I'll pop back in just 2 seconds. Gonna use the bathroom.
Sure. Let's see, what was this build again? It's like dribbling the ball, but there's no ball, and it looks like he's playing with nuts. I wish I could explain. Just muting Logic for a second because he seems to be talking to someone else. I'm not sure if I got the build you did right.
Oh, let's have a look. Sorry, Ducky just came home and it's his birthday today.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy, right? Why can't I change sides? Come on, game. Why can't I? Now I can change sides. What is going on with this game? No, so just 5 regular spearmen. No regiment for now. Archmage, Need to be on an eagle.
Yeah, she's on an eagle.
Which is really cheap.
Do you get like
Say both items, Earth
Oh.
Bloods, Regrowth, Eagle. Yeah, there we go. That's the right cost. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, 5 gold. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, so Armor of the Stars makes you unspottable and stalk. And Book of Earth is really good for like power regen. So like gives you like 160%, like huge. It just gives you loads of winds of magic nice and quickly.
Alright.
But I'm going with the same build as you, but I've got 4 Centaurs, Butchers of Kalkengard, and then otherwise it's the same build.
Okay.
Spearman!
There. So first off, I have to recognise that I can now Vanguard.
Few Vanguard options.
Just Sammy.
Without fail! For duty! It will be done! Spearman! It shall be done! Spearman! As you say! Spearman! We will obey! Spearman! For duty! Spearman!
Sir Archmage!
It shall be done! By Alariel!
And the Beastmen love this whole chaos thing, didn't they?
Illyrian archers!
Let's do that.
So, what's my game plan for the High Elves?
So, I mean, the one thing here is just for you to just see what it's like playing from the High Elf perspective. Your game plan for the High Elves is you've got a spear box. Your archers are going to do lots of damage on the way in. You're going to kite a little bit, if possible, with your archers, your Lyran Reaver archers, and you're looking to do damage against a couple of units before they hit, and then just try and whittle down as many numbers as possible.
Okay.
It's just a nice cheap build. There was nothing really much to it. It's just a strong build that's new that I thought I'd bring.
Cool.
But yeah, no, other than that, bro, I'm ready.
Yes.
Witness true magic!
It's also weird not being able to see the stocking units.
Yeah. And it's also good for you to see it from my perspective, right?
Yeah.
Where you can't see that much.
Apace! We advance!
Carried by the winds!
For duty! By your command! Setting forth! Swiftly! Assyrian guides us! To battle!
I will triumph!
Sinner! Asa, advance! Forward! We go! Understood! March!
Hoeth guides me!
We away! Asur, advance! It will be done! Advance! Onwards! Moving out!
Archmage repositioning!
Asa, withdraw! Illyrian archers!
It is my goal!
Orders received. Without fail. Attack! Illyrian archers! Moving out! We go! Understood. Asa, move! By Ilario! Asa, forward! Setting forth! Asa, advance! We advance! For duty! Lakoi! Hold! We will obey! Moving out!
Asa, Archmage!
Orders received! Ancestors! Draw back!
My journey continues!
Assyria!
At once!
Guide
I
me!
go for Oath One!
Our cause has failed!
Magic
The winds are
unleashed!
Acknowledged! We away! We advance! For Oath One! For Assyria! We are lost! Loyal! To battle! Seal! March! Illyrian archers! All hope is lost! We are overcome! For order! Had I be praised! Moving out! Draw back! Spearmen! Orior! Your repair! Apace! At once! We advance! For order! Asa, move! For the king! Acknowledged! For Assyrian! For Assyrian! Spearmen! Understood! Loyal! Forward! Assyrian willing! We go! For Ulthuan! Ancestors! Illyrian archers! For duty! Sail! March! Ancestors! Assyrian guides us! Following orders! Illyrian archers! Assyrian guides us! It shall be done! Spearmen! Death to all! Without question! Sinner! Orders received! Asa, advance! Weapons ready! It will be done! Colossal claws! Setting forth! Pull back! Attack! Swiftly! Without question! Attack! Advance! Lakoi! Onward! Following orders! Quickly now! Understood! For Ulthuan! For Asurian! Spearman! Yes! Asa, forward! Spearman! For the Ever Queen! We away! Make Ulthuan proud! Move! For Lothan! Serve the king! For our ancestors! Moving out! Defending order! Draw back!
GG's.
Yes.
How did it feel playing on the higher side?
Yeah, actually a lot better. Did I get the wrong spells?
What was it, sorry?
Cypher said that I had the wrong spells. I had, what was it, Earthblood and Regrowth?
No, it was Earthblood and Dweller's Blow.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, there's not much to regrowth in your army except your lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it feel playing against the Beastmen there?
Yeah, at the start it looked good, I thought. But then there wasn't a lot to do at the start for me. It's more defensive, but at the end it became chaos when I'm also not sure how you kept those centaurs alive all the time, and mine always die so fast.
Constant observation of them. Like for example, the butchers, I pulled them out at one point because they were just taking so much damage. But I mean, how did it feel looking after the Illyrian move at archers? It must have been quite annoying.
Yeah.
Running against centaurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe actually the shields will make a difference. Actually, just having those, I think actually maybe shielded might be a little bit better. It means to build loses quite a bit of AP, but you can bring it there with the butchers. But yeah, I think it's one of those ones that obviously I caught your lord choice. Your lord just landed for like 5 seconds and boom, won it. I was waiting for that. And then I got the cavalry in, and you saw how it was impossible to get the chicken out. Like once it was in and down, it was done. So for me, it was I wanted to get in. I was a bit slow at certain parts, and it is really tough to try to get that push. And that push is where it's super important. I like that you spawned on one side. That was smart. Yeah, I would say that what I wanted to do is just keep that front line busy as much as possible. Like busy, 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 busy. And then I could get around the flanks and start taking down all those key targets. Your range overall did okay. 2 units paid for itself. The rest didn't. Skirmish archers didn't. None of them paid for themselves. One of them was 8 gold off. Spearman did well. Silver Guard did well. Lord, Dweller's Blow, would it have changed the game? Maybe. But yeah, I thought the build did quite nicely. Yeah, I think the Centaurs actually did quite well there. I think it's maybe the Centaurs with the shields being a little bit tankier and cheaper. Just allowing me to get 2 more extra units of Ungor Spearmen in there. Just to kind of show up that front line. And just keep that front line busy. But how did you find it from the other side? I know you said it was a bit easier. But did you see where it could be difficult to play as the High Elves?
Yeah, as the Beastman, you kind of have like the initiative, and it's also the box is nice, but once it gets crumbling, there's not much else to do, I think.
It's really tough. Like you're sending units into position to be like, right, I've got to block this, got to block this, got to do that, got to do that, and I can only react based on what you do. I can't force something.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if you fall asleep for 2 seconds on those Illyrian Reaver archers, they'll die in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'll drop down to you. I think this is the bet. This is my favorite build I've built so far. You could argue about the butchers. How useful are they? How useful are they not? You could argue, but I know you obviously want to have one unit in there. So if there was a unit, that'd be the one I recommend. And I think in this matchup, having your leadership with your lord is super important. So Morga gives you summons. Morga also just isn't going to die, and you can just use Morga to compromise archers, and you can throw him right in the middle. You just know he's not going to die. And if he is going to die, send in the tentacle, send in the butchers, and just put him out of there. This would be, more the way that I would play for you. I think this would be a nice build for you. Obviously, we didn't get to explore the high elf matchup so much. I think it's quite hard in 3-4 games to explore it in mass detail because there's so much you can do. Because it used to be even slightly high elf favored, I'd say maybe 55-60% high elves, and then 45-40% beastmen. But the matchup was winnable. These days, not really. I think the changes are just really, really nice in this matchup. If you look at the high elf build, for example, it's not even anywhere near the best high elf build. Like, it's not even close. But the high elf build itself, you save 400 gold on the Elven Reaver archers. You save 250 gold on the regular archers. You've already saved 850 gold. And that 850 gold allows your archmage to be on an eagle. You can take life bloom if you like. It allows me to take high magic if I want. I can just do whatever I want, really. And the build's a 19 stack, which you did not see much before of.
Not on high elves, no.
No, so and that's where you got a faction that's more efficient than you, and they can also go as wide as you can. Looking pretty hard, right? But yeah, I think for you, it's you need to be aggressive, but you also need to be patient as you do it. You need to find those openings, you need to find those mistakes, and it's one of those things, especially as a defensive build. If I don't foresee something happening, like for example when you landed your eagle, I immediately snapped on that opportunity because once all your units are compromised, there was nothing to pull out your cavalry was never going to be able to stop my cavalry from butchering your caster. There was nothing to aid that caster because everything was engaged. And I'm forcing the attack. So the fact that you couldn't foresee that meant that I could punish you, and there was nothing you could do about it.
No.
So I was patiently waiting with some of my. I didn't always have my cavalry busy, but I had them in positions where, if the time became, I could use them. Also, maybe watch back that replay because there's a couple of times where I thin up the units where they're not super wide, but I make them really small and thin, and I push them through little gaps that you have in your build, and then I push them in and straight onto the archers.
Okay.
Yeah, you might not have seen that in real time, but go back and watch that. It's what I like to call the Falcon strat. It's when I used to watch Falcon play, he was like effing insane with like cavalry and stuff. He would like charge through, make it stick thin, and then it'd be wide by the time we got into your build, and you'd be like, I don't know how you did that in a matter of 3 seconds, but he does. So, but I think go through that, think about that, and yes, I think here. If you can get your practice on the high elf side of things, go ahead, try that build out. And then also compare against your old build, see how you feel with that one as well. But I think it's a solid build to start with. Yes. So as of next week, what are we looking at here? Where are we going next?
I think we noted down Dark Elves, but...
Okay. Yep.
Or is it maybe worth doing High Elves again?
It's entirely up to you, my friend. Entirely up to you. I don't think much is going to change too much about the build.
That's true.
The other way you would play is more elite cavalry, I think. You could certainly take some more elite infantry. I don't think you take dragons in this matchup. I don't. I mean, you possibly could, but
that's more like me wanting to play Minotaurs, people wanting to play dragons, then that they're actually very good.
Maybe there's some high skill player out there that's really good with dragons,
Yeah.
a La Real build, etc. But I don't see that there for me. I don't know. I don't see it being reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you did really want to revisit this, then yeah, we can certainly do that. If not, we can move on to Dark Elves. Dark Elves is going to have a similar appeal with some slightly different elements to it. And I think that matchup is even harder for the Beastmen. I think Dark Elves is even harder. Maybe. It's an interesting one. They have some elements in the build that really can be quite hard for the Beastmen. Yeah. There's some hard bits in there for sure, I think. There's some bits that Dark Elves can really bring to the battle that I think are quite tasty. Okay. Well, go away and think, mate. We'll play
Yeah.
today. Obviously, you've
Thanks.
got those 4 replays. Let us know your thoughts. If you get any practice, also let me know.
Yeah.
Tell me how you get on with the builds and your ideas and stuff. If not, we'll look to do Dark Elves, but if you really want to revisit, we can also do that.
Fine. Yeah. Thanks.
All right, man. Cheers. I'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Right. That was a nice little practice session. See you next time. Thanks for watching, Cypher. See ya.